Good afternoon. Welcome back to BM with the Trigger on Wednesday, middle of the week, hump day. Getting ready to already move on the weekend. I know we are, but can't move that fast. We got good things to talk about. By the way, coming up tonight, How to Rock the Stage, we have a beautiful, beautiful show. We're going to pick up on our conversation that we started on Monday during 2 p.m. And we're going to get back to talking about AI tonight, but not just AI. We're going to be talking about the virtual you. You're going to want to come and join us for this because every news channel, everywhere I turn right now, people are buzzing about the pros, the cons, the fears of AI and the virtually generated you and the virtually generated media. Legislation is already being talked about, maybe having some sort of labeling, marketing, a print to distinguish between real and video AI stuff. Very interesting times we live in. So tonight, come and join us. It's going to be all about the virtual you, picking up on our conversation for Monday. If you missed our 2 p.m. live, you need to go to our YouTube channel, check out the YouTube channel. And while I mentioned that, I am going to bring up our podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts. Many of our content, like tonight's show, will be right up there the following day. So you do want to learn, listen, follow, be a part of these amazing shows. And they're very timely right now on some of the topics that are impacting media. And the way that I help you shine on camera, shine on stage, this is a big one because people are paying big money to have virtual versions of themselves meet you and greet you and talk about their products and services. So don't miss out on the show coming up tonight. So today we're going to be talking about, we are going to be getting into the soundbites. And soundbites are a common thread as well right now, a big common thread. But some of us are still doing soundbites that are like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes long. Those are now soundbites. Those are now minis. Those are excerpts of your long curated content. Now, sound bites really are those 15, the 30, 60 seconds at the most type of things that are news clips. The news comes on at night, you start hearing somebody talk about things, and they do a short interview segment, and you get that quick little soundbite of the president. You get some quick little soundbite of a mother in stress with their child being shot, whatever it is. Very quick, moving, but they are important sound bites. As a communicator, as a media person, you need to learn how to capitalize on those. But sound bites get put into your longer discussion pieces. They're part of the flow of your keynote speech. They're part of your interview you do. Just this week, I was watching an interview on one of the early news magazine shows, and it was amazing how a young child had a great sound bite. It came out so clear, so crisp, and they were coached. They were prepared. They were ready for this. But it sounded natural and authentic. But I could tell by my listening ear, that's the soundbite they're going to grab. That's going to be the one. That's what you want to learn to do. You want to be able to have these soundbites prepared, practiced, written out, memorized. And you want to intentionally have them be a part of those interviews you do. Because when they go and search out something to be a promotional piece, when they want to highlight you on the news interview, if they want to put you into a trailer of some sort, or your trailers, your sizzle reels, you're going to want to go grab those and go, that's it. That's it. One technique, if you're on interview shows that I coach people on, and this helps you in so many ways to get good, clean sound bites, not just have them roll off your tongue into the next sentence. This is one of the best ways for you to get a 30, a 60, a 15-second soundbite during an interview. When you're asked a question by the interview host, pause for a second. Dramatic pause always works, gets people's attention. What are they thinking? What are they going to say? Oh my gosh, are we ready for it? Then you want to repeat the question that you're given by the interview host. Yes, repeat the question. It's doing a couple things for you. First of all, you're going to rephrase it in the way that they gave it to you. You're going to have it a little bit different, but you're going to rephrase it in a way that sounds natural to lead into your soundbite. Your mind is going to have that little brief pause, and as you're saying the question back again, you're going to be able to phrase it in a way that flows into the soundbite seamlessly. It's going to seem like a natural, an accidental phrase. Something magical came out of you. In fact, you prepared that. That's some of the genius of this. Also, by taking that moment, that little pause, and then doing that question, when you go searching for your playbacks, when you go looking for those sound bites to clip them out for your social media, for your Instagrams, for your reels, you're going to know exactly where your soundbite begins. You're going to know they ask the questions, you rephrase the question after that little pause. That's where you want to clip, and you'll have that clean introduction. You yourself will have the introduction of what's coming next. You don't need them to have it on camera. You already have it on camera because you're going to give the question yourself. And then you're going to know where it's going to end because you know where your great phrases end or how you're going to hand it back off to the host. One of the ways to do that is put a tail, just wrap it up nice and clean. You don't want to re-ask the questions. You're just going to say something like, well, and that's how I talk about communication skills, Ted. And you know, it's a great ending right there. You re-wrap it back up by rephrasing why you gave that answer. It also gives the host, the interviewer, the opportunity to know you handed the ball back over. Sometimes we, as interviewers and hosts, are doing multiple things, and we don't catch the sound bites because we're listening to someone else in our earpiece. We are trying to get to our next question on our tablet, and we're not fully paying attention. So by you saying, and that's it, Ted, it kicks it back to them, wakes them up, and they're ready to go. It's sad, but it's true. But this is how it goes. Aaron's dropping in here today. I made it to your awesome show. Boom, Rich. Thank you very much. Another one from Aaron here dropping in today. Excellent advice. This is great media training stuff, which is I do all the time. You want your interviews to really jump off the table, and you want these sound bites. I do probably 3 or 4 interviews per week. I don't know how many I do per month anymore. I have all my own shows I host and run, and shows I host for other people. I have a lot of audio, a lot of videotape to go through and find my own good sound bites. I use these tricks myself. It makes it so much easier that I can roll in. I kind of know where I'm at in the interview, and then I start rolling, slow it down, fast forward, and when I have that repeating question, I know I've got a sound bite. Now, another trick of all this is you want variations of that same perfect answer. Every interview is different. You might be able to give a 15-second quick answer illustration, but it's based off your 60-second answer illustration. You want to be able to have the short, medium, and long, well-crafted sound bites out of the same question or comment or expert tip you want to give. Because often if you do get a news journalism interview, let's say you're on your local news show, you get a national show, you have 3 minutes probably at the max for anything on camera. And that's them introducing you. That's them cutting it back to the studio. So you really maybe have 2.5 minutes to say what you're going to say. So anything you want to put out there of value, you have it, boom, boom, boom. But you have to make it sound natural. Make it sound like it just came flying off. And as you give these sound bites, if possible, give a short story. I remember as a child, when I was 10 years old, I did this, and that helped me do this. You gave a quick story, very short. You framed it up. You're a 10-year-old. That was the incident, and now it helps you do this better as a professional, as a pro. This is where crafting and practicing is so important. Learning to rock your stage, learning to own your presentation, learning to shine on camera and shine on stage, it does require you investing in yourself and mastering some of these skills. And sound bites right now is all the rage. It's always been the rage, but that was mostly just for news journalism people. Now it's become something that is impacting every social media, every company, every public speaker, every media coach. Everyone is glued to sound bites. Also, our world has rapidly increased the way that we consume data. We don't want long, rambling sentences. Get to the point, move to the next thing, boom, 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 boom. That's how we're wired. One funny story is I kind of head to my conclusion here today, going all the way back to my early media days. I used to work with reel to reel. Yes, reel to reel. Go Google it if you don't know what it is, younger ones. But I would listen to a long interview that we had done, listen to a long broadcast, because we would take news feeds for other media outlets and grab something. I would have to listen, not for the whole interview, but find that one magical soundbite, cut it on the reel to reel, cut it at the other end of the reel, and I had to make sure that it didn't sound like it was cutting off other words or it had that sound coming in because it was cut at the wrong spot. Reel to reel was so hard. It was so painstaking. You learn to listen to that little breath, to that little pause before you got the perfect click. Took going back and forth, back and forth. Nowadays with digital, it's so much easier to get powerful, compelling sound bites. And when you do share them on your social media, do share them. A short one here, a longer one here. Change it up, and depending on the platform you are, change up what you do every day in your different platforms. Don't just keep doing 60-second reels and 60-second ones on Instagram every day. Change them up. Just give them a 15-second one. But when you do a soundbite, here's the other media tip for you. Put a link in and let them know where the full interview is at. If it's on your YouTube, if it's on your website, use that soundbite to be so exciting, so compelling. You got to go hear the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say. That's going to do it for today. I'm the Trigger Rich Bontrager, hoping you'll join me tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You don't want to miss it, as we're going to talk about AI, not the GPT chat that everyone's buzzing about. We're going to be talking about what is going to happen when you have a virtual version of you, a version of you that will meet and greet people that you really can't tell if it's real, Memorex, or what it is. Interesting conversation, how it's already impacting so many people. There's a lot of fear, confusion, excitement. Join the conversation, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on many of these same streaming channels. And by the way, Aaron, jumping in one more time, it's now proven that short content, 60 seconds is or less, is powerful. Mic drop. Yes, indeed. Thank you for confirming that, Aaron. Great to have everyone along today. We'll see you again 2 p.m. Eastern Time for 2 p.m.